Euromaxx highlights in today's show. Sound and vision, Norwegian pianist Leif over Andsnes adds an extra dimension. Food and art. The Eat Art movement is almost 50 years old. Faith and tradition. Oberammergau's Passion Play is famous all over the world. Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Robin Merrill.
Hello from Berlin and welcome to the show. Major fashion labels nowadays have become international brands, not just known for the clothes they design. Today, names like Armani or Yves Saint Laurent can offer an entire lifestyle for you to follow. Such labels have become huge conglomerates, designing, producing and selling everything from perfume to cutlery to furniture. We've been investigating the trend from couture to decor.
They're a familiar sight on runways around the world. Creations by the Italian fashion label Versace and the somewhat more restrained lines of Armani. And here are the furnishings to complete the look. Chairs, tables, chaises longues. There are even lamps, all created by haute couture designers from the same labels.
It's a logical step for the fashion industry to expand its home textile and accessory ranges to include furniture. They're trying to offer an entire lifestyle, not just fashion, and in some cases accessories, but the matching sofa as well.
Another new entry is the Italian firm Diesel, best known for its blue jeans. The look is youthful, laid back, and a touch rebellious. And that holds for Diesel's furniture collection as well.
Diesel's fashion vocabulary is clearly evident in its furnishings as well. You can see it in the surfaces. They have something of a jeans look, a vintage look, with a bit of industrial charm and a hint of roughness. At the same time, they are introducing some of that rock and roll charm into the furnishings that you can also see in their fashion.
A leather stool with a border of rivets paired with a mirror hung by belts. Furnishings for jeans fans. The fitting accessory, a wood chair with a light indigo stain. Other fashion labels launched their furnishing lines some years ago. Armani is one of the pioneers. Like its haute couture, the label's furniture is known for its sleek lines, muted colors, and luxurious fabrics. A couch can cost 15,000 euros. It's a look designed to appeal to Armani's loyal followers.
The colors and the fabrics have to evoke the fashion label and encourage brand recognition. It's all part of the image of a fashion label.
The trend is taking off. The high contrast and floral designs of Kenzo now adorn both bodies and sofas. These cushions and rugs go for a more edgy and extroverted look. They're by British designer Vivienne Westwood, who created them for the Rug Company. Missoni has also transferred its trademark brightly colored zigzags from fashion to furniture. Like some other fashion labels, Missoni has gone one step further. Last summer, it opened Hotel Missoni in Edinburgh. At the luxury boutique hotel, the guests are totally immersed in true Missoni style.
The pretty village of Oberammergau in northern Bavaria has just a few thousand residents, but is, of course, world famous for its passion play. This only takes place every 10 years and is always performed by local inhabitants. It'll be staged once again in 2010. We've been at some of the early rehearsals, even meeting the main man himself.
Genau.
Andreas Richter is teaming up with a vocal coach to prepare for his role as Jesus in the Oberammergau Passion Play. Like most of the 1,000 other performers who will take to the stage in May 2010, Richter is not a professional actor. That made the news of his starring role even more exciting.
It was crazy. You're a bit numb at first because you can't believe it. And after you get the news, then there's a huge media frenzy. You can't even breathe the first 2 or 3 hours. And the first night afterwards, I couldn't sleep. I tried to get it through my head.
About half of the 5,000 people living in Oberammergau take part in the Passion Play. Whether as an actor or a ticket taker, anyone can get in on the act. But participants must have been born in the town, like Andreas Richter, or have lived here for at least 20 years. There's also a so-called hair and beard decree for actors. The salon is off limits from February onwards, and for men, shaving is forbidden.
In Oberammergau, it's a sign of your commitment, of your participation and giving it your all. In the end, you grow into the Passion Play in the same way your hair grows.
The Oberammergau Passion Theatre seats 5,000. Andreas Richter performed on stage for the first time as a 3-year-old. This will be his 4th time participating in the play. But it'll be his first appearance as Jesus of Nazareth.
The first time you come out here, it's just a big space full of faces looking out at you expectantly. It's crazy. You really have to pull yourself together, and I'll probably have the first line after the singing is over. So, speaking then, that will be incredible.
A play scheduled for the run-up to the Passion Play is titled The Plague and tells of the Passion Play's origins. It chronicles the town's struggle with plague in 1633, when the villagers vowed to put on a play every 10 years about the suffering and death of Christ in exchange for an end to the plague in their town.
Noch ist es nicht zu spät.
Now it's time for director Christian Stückel to present the costumes and set design for the new production. This year's play features Jesus in a newly defined role.
The tradition of the Passion Play involves showing only the last 5 days. Jesus' suffering, Jesus scourged, Jesus nailed to the cross. These days many people don't know much about Jesus. They just have a kind of outline. And I said, I need for them to learn more about his wishes, his actions and his thoughts.
More than 100 actors with speaking parts are meeting for a read-through at the small theatre in town. It's the first chance these amateur actors have to look at the newly revised text.
You yearn for the treasures of the earth, where moth and dust destroy. I say unto thee, lay up your treasures in heaven, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Nearly all the performers have day jobs, and that's why most rehearsals are held in the evenings. During the next 6 months, Oberammergau's residents will devote the majority of their free time to preparation for the play. Andreas Richter has a day job too, as a psychologist.
I'll have to see how that affects things first. Whether it helps me on stage or not, I can't say. I am who I am. But I'm certainly all right when it comes to understanding a character, or trying to.
Christian Stückel will direct intensive rehearsals with his performers in the coming months. They hope everything will go smoothly on May the 15th, when the curtain rises on the opening night of the Oberammergau Passion Play 2010.
Staying with the performance arts, and a pianist who likes to add something extra to his concerts. The Norwegian Leif over Andsnes mixes stunning visuals with classical works for the piano. He's currently touring Europe with a combination of video installation and music by the Russian composer Mussorgsky.
It's a piano's grand finale. Norwegian pianist Leif over Andsnes is back with a new project and dramatic new pictures. His concert features footage of a piano being swept up in a torrent of water. The scenes were filmed at a dry dock in the city of Bergen in Norway. The images are part of his Pictures Reframed concert series. Leif over Andsnes plays the last movement of the piano suite Pictures at an Exhibition by Russian composer Modest Mussorgsky. The performance is paired with a video installation featuring scenes of the flooded piano.
For me, it's a very majestic and poetic sight, actually, to see the water taking over this piano and overwhelming it. There's something wonderful in the black and white instrument and the water being white masses of waterfalls, and it became a kind of symbolic act of sacrifice. One has to sacrifice something to create something new, and that is what we have been trying with this project.
Andsnes's current collaboration with South African visual artist Robin Rode questions the notion of the conventional musical performance. Rode's visual accompaniment aims to transform Mussorgsky's composition into a new kind of concert experience. Andsnes belongs to a generation of young musicians working to create new forms of the classical concert.
I wanted to explore the concert situation and what we can do in concert to make it a different kind of experience. I mean, in a way, I love the ritual of, only the music, the applause in between, bow. But it is a very old model, and there are different models. This is a very radical one, which we have chosen here, with all the visual elements, which bring in something completely different. So it becomes a mixture of a concert and an art experience.
Andsnes heard Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition for the first time when he was 17. The suite has been one of his favourite works ever since. Amidst such stirring imagery, focusing on the music isn't easy. So the pianist has infused his playing with more drama and orchestral flair than the score originally called for.
It is a piece of so many different characters. It has 15 movements within these 35 minutes that it lasts. And he varies from humor to violent music to the most beautiful things you have heard. So you can just put your whole heart into it in so many ways, and that's what I've tried to do.
For a music video shoot in 2007, Andsnes had a piano flown to the mountains of the Hardanger region in Norway. His combination of music and stunning visual elements has garnered him dedicated listeners.
What kind of background do you have? Have you listened a lot to music before? Do you know visual arts? Are you maybe on scratch in both art forms, a new beginner? Sometimes maybe that's the best. What I love is that it engages people also intellectually. They start to think about what they perceive.
Whether he's knee-deep in water or on stage in a concert hall, Leif over Andsnes is constantly exploring uncharted musical territory through his craft.
Now, just like that, some people have a philosophical reason for this, some people just like this as a raw material. Eat art is a genre of contemporary art that features works comprised of edible materials, from butter to toast and beyond. Eat art's been going for almost 50 years now. Invented originally in Düsseldorf, that's where a new exhibition looks at how Eat art has satisfied art lovers' hunger for more.
This sculpture made of butter is Sonja Alhäuser's piece of work. The artist from Berlin makes art from food. It's known as Eat art. She's using a special mixture of butter and starch that is also used to make croissants. It's more stable than pure butter.
Each different substance has to be treated in a special way. It's exciting. I've come up with my own tricks. I massage the surface for quite a while. I call it polishing butter. It melts away afterwards and I get a beautiful matte shine.
Das schmilzt dann quasi weg und kriegt so einen unheimlich schönen matten Glanz.
The sculpture has to be put in a fridge once every 3 hours to stop it melting. Later, it will be taken to the exhibition venue. Sonja Alhäuser is part of a new generation of contemporary artists interested in working with food. She also works with marzipan and chocolate. The Düsseldorf exhibition, Eating the Universe, is the first to offer a comprehensive overview of the genre. Eat art dates back to the 1960s. Amongst the classics are a number of works by Eat Art founder Daniel Spöri, Leftovers as modern art. The works by 40 artists from countries including Germany, France, and Italy demonstrate the continued popularity of Eat art today.
Working with food confronts us with our own bodies and processes that are part of life in a very direct way. These artists are working with things that we have to have, or we die. They confront us with our own decay, with death, with transience.
Eat art has always been provocative. These objects made of bread by the Swiss Eat art pioneer Daniel Spöri, for example. The artist has often been accused of wasting food.
I had some bread baked in 1960 with rubbish inside it. It's not here. There's one left in Vienna. People were horrified. They said the same thing they're saying now. How can you put rubbish into bread? I said, I'm just showing what everyone in the whole world does every day.
In its chilled display cabinet, Sonja Alhäuser's butter sculpture will keep for several months and has to be preserved at least until the Düsseldorf exhibition of edible art closes at the end of next February.
The Portuguese island of Madeira is popular as a tourist destination all year round, mainly because of its location in the Atlantic Ocean 700 miles off the coast of Morocco. This means lots and lots of sunshine combined with cooling sea breezes. We checked out some of the more charming places to stay on the island.
From above, Madeira's capital, Funchal, resembles a sea of houses. In fact, the city is full of parks and gardens. Some are public, but most are private. This estate has belonged to one family for generations. The Portuguese call these villas surrounded by magnificent gardens quintas.
The word quinta refers to an estate with two components. One is cultivated land for agricultural use, and the other is the garden area and the private home of the landowner.
The estate owners used to cultivate wine and sugarcane. 20 years ago, they turned their quinta into a hotel, the Quinta da Bela Vista, or Quinta with a beautiful view. The villa was built in 1844. It contains numerous antiques. For guests, it's almost like living in a museum.
My father spent a long time collecting furniture, especially English furniture, as well as pieces from Northern Europe. There are very strong ties between Madeira and England, especially because, for a long time, most of the island's wine was exported to England.
Behind the old manor house, there's a new building. Its rooms also contain antique furniture. The honeymoon suite is one of the Quinta's biggest attractions, offering the best view of the gardens and the city of Funchal. Calje golf course is regarded as one of the finest in the world. It's located on another quinta, 500 metres above the city. The estate also includes an extensive garden and a former hunting lodge. The main complex and the outbuildings date back to the 19th century.
Many of these quintas that exist in Madeira, they have been transformed in beautiful hotels, like this one, for instance, the one we staying at the moment, Casa Velha do Paleiro. It's a 5-star property that belongs to the Relaine Chateau.
The establishment was opened as a hotel in 1996. The estate originally belonged to the Earl of Calje, who lived here at the beginning of the 19th century. One of the suites is named after him. Later, the estate was taken over by the Blendi family, who made their fortune with Madeira wine. Casa Velha still has the flair of an old country house, while providing the luxury accommodation expected by guests.
This house, where we have the hotel, is 200 years old, so is the garden. And now we've been adding a spa, which is a modern building, that it is a very good added value for our guests and our property.
The new spa area begins directly behind the outdoor swimming pool. In the 600-metre pavilion, guests are thoroughly pampered. There's a Finnish sauna, a steam bath, and an indoor swimming pool. A stay on the estate is ideal for relaxation. Guests can take long walks in the subtropical garden or play a round of golf high above the rooftops of Madeira's capital city.
And don't forget, you'll find reports from Euromaxx in great abundance on YouTube. Just go there and type in Deutsche Welle English, one word, and the choice is yours. That's all for now, though, so bye-bye.